Hi, it's Jill here once again from Relax, Release and Reiki. I've created this video because when I was channeling Reiki in my video around menopause, relieving menopausal symptoms, I got a download of information that I want to share. I am so much about Reiki, and it is an absolutely amazing holistic healing modality. I've been doing it for years, but I know that I don't even know, not even half of what it can do. It's absolutely phenomenal in terms of its powers to help us with emotional, physical and spiritual issues, things that are just happening under the wire that we're not even aware of. And so as I say, Reiki is incredibly powerful. However, I get the information that was shared to me as I was channeling was around us taking responsibility for ourselves, and it's quite interesting what's come up. I'm literally just off the cuff. I've just written a few things down so that I don't forget. But and this might be really hard to hear actually. That the menopausal symptoms are a massive nudge from the universe for us to actually sit up and take notice and to start to take better care of ourselves and to look at unprocessed or repressed thoughts, feelings and emotions, which I've never thought about menopausal symptoms in this way before really. I say that a little bit, but I just got this sort of full on look at this, look at that. So the reason I keep looking down is because I've written some notes. So when it comes to hot flushes or hot flashes, I'm guessing if you experience that, that's why you're even watching this video. But it is like this great whoosh of heat that comes over from being just normal body temperature to feeling incredibly hot and just rising up. And it's not that dissimilar to those feelings that we used to have as, well, teens in particular, when you feel embarrassed. Sometimes you were actually shamed, and you just get this whoosh of heat, which was the shame and guilt. And so there's an invitation there to explore whether there were times in your childhood and teens where perhaps you were holding shame, holding guilt, maybe not intentionally by somebody actually saying something to you, but it's just an internal feeling that you had, and that is the way that you responded to a particular scenario or a number of scenarios. So this can be quite tricky because a lot of the stuff is happening under the wire on a subconscious level, so it's hard to actually even be aware of it, to bring it to the surface. So what if that resonates with you, or if you are experiencing hot flushes or hot flashes, I invite you to take some time, sit quietly with a notebook and pen, and just close your eyes for a moment and just take a few deep breaths and literally just ask your energy, am I holding any shame? Am I holding any guilt? And then see what happens next. So after you've asked the question, I would just pause, stay nice and quiet, nice and still, just for a few moments, and then open your notebook, grab your pen, and then just start writing, just literally free form. You could just get started. You could say, I've just asked the question, am I holding any guilt? Am I holding any shame? And just see what happens. Just have a conversation with yourself. Really try to be open, leave judgment, leave any questions about whether this is going to work or not, and just see what comes up. See what memories come up for you. At first they may seem unrelated, but if they're relevant, they'll reveal themselves. So if anything does come up, you can release that energy of it. So just by simply saying, I release the negative energy around, and then whatever it is that's come up, And just say to yourself, I will replace that with self-love and self-acceptance. Now, the next one up is, I'm just thinking about different menopausal type issues. So it's not uncommon to actually put on extra pounds. Just diet hasn't really changed. In fact, maybe you're even eating less than usual and yet you're still gaining weight. And or you're experiencing physical ailments, so maybe headaches, aches and pains and things like that in your joints. So the nudge there is just to show yourself more self-care and to maybe look at your diet. So in particular, what came up for me is cutting out processed foods, processed sugars, reducing the amount of caffeine that you have, maybe cutting it out altogether and replacing it with non-caffeinated drinks and just drinking water, or just limiting yourself to just one caffeinated drink a day. And likewise with alcohol, maybe if you do drink alcohol, reducing the amount. It's not about depriving yourself of anything, but maybe replacing for alternatives and just bringing things back into moderation. Maybe if you drink, I don't know, and please don't see this as a judgment, but I mean, from my own experience, maybe I would drink half a bottle of wine in one evening and then just pulling it back to just one glass of wine, maybe adding a bit of soda water to make it go further, or looking to have other drinks that feel like treats. There are lots of different flavoured waters or things, so it's all for you to investigate, but there's the invitation there. Definitely an invitation to drink more water. It's really, things tend to dry up as I am a woman of that age, so it's really important to stay hydrated, particularly just before bed, because interrupted sleep is quite a common thing with menopause as well. Working up in the early hours and then not being able to get off to sleep. So really help support your body by drinking some water before bed. Now it may mean that you need to go for a wee, but hopefully your body will start to, in the night your body will start to get used to it, and that should tail off, just so that you're nice and hydrated, and then the body can do what it needs to, because obviously overnight when we're sleeping it goes into its rest and repair phase, if you like. And then again, I'm getting with weight gain, with eating in particular, actually, not just weight gain, with eating and physical ailments, check in with your energy, whether there's anything trapped that relates to an unprocessed scenario. It could be something that was ongoing during your childhood, and you're holding that energy, or it could be one particular incident. It's not necessarily about something traumatic in the way that we would understand trauma to be. It could just be, I don't know, that your parents argued a lot, and so you just took the peacekeeper role, or something about friendships, the role that you took in friendships as a child, and maybe you continue to do that, whether that's really supporting you. Again, the same practice, just taking a few quiet, deep breaths, introspective, asking the question, is there anything I need to release in relation to my eating habits, or the physical ailment that you happen to be experiencing? And again, see what comes up. Journal. Sleep. So as I say, it's really quite common, and I've heard a lot of people say that they get woken up 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning and then they just can't get back to sleep, and it can be really frustrating. And because every second at night seems like an hour. Time just seems to go on forever when you're desperately trying to get back to sleep. And it's that thing, isn't it, when the more you try to get back to sleep, the more sort of agitated you get, and the less likely it is that it's going to happen. So what I was getting there is that is a massive nudge. The reason you're waking up, one of the reasons actually, because obviously it could be that you're dehydrated, or that you've got too much sort of sugar or processed food that needs to be digested by your body. But another reason could be that, again, in the quiet of the night, it is an opportunity to reflect on emotional issues, unprocessed emotions in particular, that you may be holding, but we're not taught that. So we just lie there thinking, what on earth is going on? Why am I not able to get back to sleep? So rather than having to do that in the middle of the night, because obviously that can mean that you then wake up feeling really tired and fatigue leads to all other kind of issues that we don't want. Again, time to reflect, the exact same process. Is there something around my childhood or an event that's happened to me that I need to process and see what comes up? With all of that sort of, really just be so open to it. Allow your pen almost to just float across the page without you directing it, so that the energy of the memories, the energy of the thoughts and feelings can bubble up and out and come out through the written word. Because obviously there'll be things that you've suppressed in your subconscious for a long, long time. And yet, like I say, leave judgment behind. Just ask the question and then let it flow. And maybe it won't come immediately. Perhaps or maybe it will come in dribs and drabs. So you'll have one recalled scenario or memory, and then over the course of the days and weeks, as you do this more and more stuff will come out for you to process and let go of. And the release process is the same. I release whatever it is that's going on, describing all of the thoughts, feelings and emotions linked to it, to say I'm releasing all that energy and I welcome more love and acceptance, self-acceptance. We need to backfill the energy that we've released with something positive. And the last one is feelings of anxiety, low mood, maybe even on the edges of depression, or maybe full-on depression actually, overwhelm, feeling bogged down, those kind of feelings where we're not feeling ourselves, we're not feeling energized, we're feeling very heavy, weighed down, unsure of ourselves, unsafe, anything like that whatsoever. Again, those are manifesting in that way because we've got some kind of emotional baggage that we're holding inside of ourselves that we've not released and let go of. And because we haven't, we've got to that point in our life where our energy is nudging us, going, you need to do something about this. Otherwise it's going to lead to, or potentially lead to, some kind of physical manifestation in our body, which we don't want that. I don't know, I just got this feeling that menopause comes at a time when we've got a little more time. I know we all are busy, don't get me wrong, but a little more time to be introspective actually and see what we're holding and what we need to let go of. And again, the process is the same. Taking a little time for reflection, writing it down in your notebook, see what happens, and then releasing it. I would say expect this to be emotional. Be kind to yourself. Give yourself time and space to do this. It is so worth it. I honestly, it really is. If I'm honest, I don't really get menopausal symptoms, although I'm 53. I feel like I've come out the other side. And I don't know for sure, but I'm feeling that it's because of the work that I do on myself in terms of my personal development, all of the tools and techniques that I share, and the rate, obviously I've gone through myself. I have shed, or I am in the process of shedding my emotional baggage. It is absolutely astounding how much of it we do hold, and it's like I say, it doesn't come necessarily from trauma. it can come from things that have been said from a loving place, you know, our parents and significant adults in our lives wanting to love and protect us. But because we hear it at a young age, we misinterpret things and we bank them as negative experiences when they weren't meant in that way. And of course, some of you, unfortunately, and it breaks my heart, but some of you will have experienced trauma. But like I say, that doesn't necessarily have to have happened for you to have these same experiences. There's a lot there. It just kind of came to me when I was doing the Reiki, and I felt the absolute need to share it with you. I think what I will do is I will look at each of these areas separately and create some more videos. But in the meantime, if you've got any questions about what I've said, which I hope makes sense because it's just literally a download of what I've just received, or you're looking for any questions or some techniques to dive a bit deeper into this, please drop me a comment and I will do my utmost to try to help and support you. So look out for more of these videos as and when I get information, and in the meantime, I just wish you so much love and happiness.